Not my problem.
Could you please check again?
These documents aren't enough.
I brought every document your bank requested: death certificate, marriage certificate, court papers, his will, everything.
Still not enough. Come back next week.
I've been coming here for 6 months. Please, I don't have money for another trip.
Ma'am, you're holding up the line. Next customer.
Some people just don't know when to quit. Some people just don't know when to quit.
After losing her beloved husband, 78-year-old Margaret Lawson spends 6 painful months visiting Prestige National Bank, desperately trying to access the inheritance her husband left behind. Early one cold morning, 78-year-old Margaret Lawson boarded a city bus with nothing but hope in her heart. Carrying the last documents her late husband had left behind, she prayed that this visit to the bank would finally change her life.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, son.
Going to the bank again?
Hopefully. Today will be different.
I hope so.
1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. I thought I had enough. I've got it. Thank you. God bless you. You remind me of my grandmother. Take good care of her. Tom, please let today be the day.
30 years earlier, Margaret's husband, Thomas, asked his closest friend, Richard Bennett, to promise that if anything ever happened to him, Margaret would never be left alone. Richard gave his word without hesitation.
Richard, if anything ever happens to me, promise me something. You're healthier than I am. Stop talking nonsense. Promise me. Anything. Take care of her. Make sure she never struggles. I swear. As long as I live, Margaret will never be alone.
Margaret arrived at the grand headquarters of Prestige National Bank. Surrounded by wealthy customers and luxury, she quietly walked inside, unaware that this visit would change everything. Hours passed as Margaret patiently waited for her number to be called. While other customers were served before her, she sat alone, ignored and forgotten, holding tightly to the hope that someone would finally listen. After waiting nearly 4 hours, Margaret was finally called to the customer service desk. She politely handed over her documents, believing this would be the day she could finally access her husband's savings. Instead of receiving help, Margaret was told her paperwork was still not enough. As customers mocked her and the employee dismissed her without compassion, she struggled to hold back her tears.
Here we go again. Does she even have an account here? Maybe she's asking for money.
Mom, why has that grandma been sitting there forever?
Sometimes grown-ups don't treat everyone fairly.
Number 21. Still 76 people away. Your ID.
Account number?
Here is the paperwork.
This account is inactive.
It shouldn't be. My husband opened it years ago. Everything should already be there.
Not my problem.
Could you please check again?
These documents aren't enough.
I brought every document your bank requested: death certificate, marriage certificate, court papers, his will, everything.
Still not enough. Come back next week.
I've been coming here for 6 months. Please, I don't have money for another trip.
Ma'am, you're holding up the line. Next customer.
Some people just don't know when to quit. Some people just don't know when to quit.
As Margaret gathered her papers, a little girl kindly picked up a document she had dropped. That simple act of kindness reminded everyone that compassion can come from the most unexpected people.
Here you go, Grandma.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I'm sorry for how everyone treated you.
Never apologize for someone else's issues.
Okay.
Unlike everyone else, a young banker named Daniel noticed something wasn't right. After carefully examining Margaret's paperwork, he realized her documents were completely valid and decided to investigate further.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind if I looked at your paperwork?
If you think it might help. Don't waste your time. She's been coming here forever.
This doesn't make sense.
What is it?
These documents are perfectly legal.
Computer says no.
Computers don't make every decision. People do. I'll take this to the manager.
Daniel discovered that Margaret's account had not been frozen by the computer system. Someone inside the bank had manually blocked it years earlier, revealing that something far more sinister was happening behind the scenes.
That can't be right. Someone inside the bank manually placed the restriction years ago.
Everything all right?
Yes, just checking something. Who did this?
Before leaving the bank, Margaret revealed the name of her husband's old friend, Richard Bennett. At that exact moment, the CEO himself walked into the bank, setting the stage for a life-changing reunion.
Mrs. Lawson, may I ask you something?
Of course.
Did your husband ever mention anyone who worked at this bank?
Yes, His best friend,
Who?
Richard Bennett.
Richard Bennett?
Yes, he promised my husband he'd always look after me.
The CEO is here.
Just as Margaret was about to leave the bank once again, the CEO, Richard Bennett, unexpectedly arrived. The moment he saw her, he recognized the widow of his late best friend and rushed over, leaving everyone in the lobby speechless. Employees watched in disbelief as the powerful CEO warmly embraced the elderly woman they had ignored all morning. Richard quickly realized something was terribly wrong and demanded to know why Margaret had been struggling for months.
Good morning, Mr. Bennett. We weren't expecting you today. Neither was I, just doing a surprise visit.
No, it can't be.
Margaret?
I'm sorry, do I know you?
It's me, Richard Bennett.
Tom's Richard.
Yes, the very same Richard. He embraces her.
Why is the CEO hugging her?
I have no idea.
Where have you been all these years?
Life happened. Tom passed away. I've been trying to access his account.
What do you mean trying? Sir, there may be a problem. Explain.
Richard personally escorted Margaret to the executive floor, treating her with the respect she deserved. While everyone watched in amazement, he promised to uncover the truth behind her delayed inheritance. Margaret shared the heartbreaking story of her repeated visits to the bank, explaining how she had spent her last savings on transportation only to be rejected again and again. Richard listened with guilt and growing anger. Holding an old family photograph, Richard remembered the promise he had made to Thomas decades earlier. Determined to make things right, he ordered an immediate investigation into Margaret's account.
You don't have to do all this.
Yes, I do. Tea?
That would be lovely.
Tell me everything.
I've been coming here for 6 months. Every visit cost me money. I keep asking for new documents. I've brought everything. Tom's death certificate, our marriage certificate, his will, court papers, everything. Today they told me to come back again. I didn't even have enough money for the bus.
Tom made me promise something.
I remember.
I promised he'd never have to worry about you, and I failed him.
You didn't know. That doesn't make it right.
Get me legal, compliance, and internal audit now.
Daniel and the bank's auditors discovered that Margaret's account had been manually frozen years ago. It was no computer error. Someone inside the bank had intentionally blocked her inheritance.
You're saying this hold was placed manually?
Yes, years ago.
This authorization code belongs to a regional executive.
Why would anyone freeze a widow's inheritance?
Richard gathered the bank's senior executives and demanded answers. As excuses filled the room, he made it clear that those responsible would be held accountable for betraying the bank's customers.
Who authorized the freeze on Thomas Lawson's account? It may have been an old compliance issue. May have. I'd need to review the records. Review them now!
Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Vanessa began to fear for her future. For the first time, she reflected on the pain her careless attitude had caused Margaret.
I didn't do anything wrong. You humiliated her in front of everyone. I followed procedure. Did you?
The investigation uncovered dozens of similar inheritance accounts that had also been frozen without justification. What first seemed like an isolated mistake was now exposed as a much larger scandal.
Look at this.
Another frozen inheritance account.
And another.
There are dozens of them.
This wasn't a mistake. It was a system.
After learning the truth, Richard ordered the immediate suspension of those involved and promised Margaret that before the day ended, she would finally receive everything her husband had left for her.
Sir, we believe multiple inheritance accounts were intentionally delayed. How much money? Potentially millions. Call federal regulars, freeze every related account, suspend every executive connected to this immediately. And before this day ends, you will get every penny your husband left you.
As reporters gathered outside the bank, news of the investigation spread rapidly across the city. The story of an elderly widow denied her inheritance quickly captured the nation's attention. Deep inside the bank's archives, investigators uncovered an old confidential file containing forged authorization records. The evidence confirmed that the fraud had been carefully planned years earlier.
Daniel, come take a look at this.
What is it?
This authorization form, the signature doesn't match.
Wait, this was forged?
This was organized fraud. Exactly.
Faced with mounting evidence, senior executives began blaming one another. Richard watched silently, refusing to accept excuses from the people entrusted with protecting customers' money.
This wasn't my department. Your signature is on the reports. Because finance approved them. Don't drag me into your mess. Amazing. For years, no one knew anything. Now everyone has an excuse. Save it for the investigators.
Margaret visited her late husband's grave and quietly shared everything that had happened. Through tears, she told him that his old friend had remembered the promise they made so many years ago.
Hello, Tom. I finally found Richard. He remembered you. He hasn't forgotten his promise. I think things are finally changing. I wish you could see this.
As Daniel continued helping investigators, an unknown man confronted him in a parking garage and warned him to stop asking questions. But instead of backing down, Daniel became even more determined to uncover the truth.
You're asking too many questions. Who's there? Walk away from this investigation. Forget Margaret Lawson, forget those files. No. Then don't expect this to end well. What are they so afraid of?
Financial analysts completed their calculations and discovered that Thomas's investment had grown to more than $3.8 million. Richard smiled, realizing his friend had spent his life protecting Margaret's future.
Mr. Bennett, we've completed the interest calculations.
How much? $3.8 million. 30 years of accumulated interest. Thomas Lawson made an incredible investment. Tom, you always planned ahead.
Overcome with guilt, Vanessa packed her belongings after losing her job. She finally understood that a few careless words could leave emotional scars that lasted a lifetime.
Human Resources is looking for you. I know. I never thought about how my words could hurt someone. Sometimes one conversation changes a person's life. I wish I could apologize.
Richard addressed employees across the company, admitting the bank had failed its customers. He announced sweeping reforms to ensure elderly clients would always receive compassion, respect, and personal assistance.
Today, I'm not speaking as your CEO. I'm speaking as someone who failed to notice suffering inside my own company. A bank is built on trust. Without trust, we have nothing. Effective immediately, every inheritance case involving elderly customers will be personally reviewed. No exceptions.
The bank prepared a certified check for more than $3.8 million. As Richard signed the final approval, he knew he was finally honoring the promise he had made to Thomas.
I've never printed a check this large for one customer.
Every cent belongs to her. She has no idea. Tomorrow she will.
The next morning, Richard and Daniel visited Margaret's apartment carrying the leather folder that would change her life forever. Margaret had no idea that her years of waiting were finally about to end. Sitting at her small kitchen table, Margaret opened the folder and saw the certified check. Overwhelmed with emotion, she realized her husband's love had continued protecting her even after his passing.
Good morning, Margaret. May we come in?
Of course. What's that?
A promise. 30 years overdue. Margaret, 30 years ago I made a promise to Tom. Today I'm finally keeping it.
Richard, I think you've made a mistake.
No, the mistake was ours. This belongs to you.
$3 million. Really keep your risk.
Your husband never stopped taking care of you, even after he was gone.
Tom, you really did keep your promise.
Federal investigators removed the executives responsible for the fraud, bringing long overdue justice to the victims. Richard reminded everyone that trust must always come before profit.
After reviewing the evidence, we have confirmed multiple unauthorized delays involving inheritance accounts. Several executives will be referred for criminal investigation. Richard, please, I made mistakes. No, you made choices.
Filled with remorse, Vanessa found Margaret and sincerely apologized for the way she had treated her. Margaret chose forgiveness, proving that kindness is often stronger than revenge.
Mrs. Lawson, I came to say I'm sorry. I judged you before I knew your story. I embarrassed you. I hurt you.
Why did you come? Because saying I'm sorry won't change what I did. But it's where I have to begin.
For his honesty and courage, Daniel was promoted to lead the bank's new senior client care division. His compassion became the example the entire organization would follow.
Daniel, you reminded this bank what integrity looks like.
Director of Senior Client Care?
Who better to protect people than the man who already has?
I won't let you down.
I know you won't.
Margaret used part of her inheritance to restore her neighborhood library and support families in need. She believed that true wealth was measured by the lives a person touched.
Mrs. Lawson, why spend your inheritance helping others? Because kindness grows when it's shared. Money can disappear.
Richard established the Thomas and Margaret Lawson Trust to help elderly customers receive financial guidance and legal support. Thomas's legacy would now protect countless families for generations.
This foundation will provide free financial guidance and legal assistance for elderly customers across the country.
Tom would have loved this.
I think he's smiling right now.
Back home, Margaret discovered a heartfelt letter Thomas had written before his death. His final words reminded her that she had always been the greatest treasure of his life. A year later, the new community center was helping seniors every day. Margaret proudly watched as people received the kindness and respect she had once struggled to find. Standing before employees and customers, Richard admitted that a bank's greatest responsibility was not money, but people. He thanked Margaret for reminding everyone that dignity should never depend on appearance.
Banks don't exist because of buildings. They exist because people trust us with their hopes. The moment we stop seeing the person behind the paperwork, we've already failed. Margaret Lawson's reminder to depend on...
As the sun set, Margaret visited Thomas's grave one final time. With peace in her heart, she thanked him for protecting her future and walked away knowing that his promise had changed thousands of lives forever.
Hello, my love. Everything turned out just as you hoped. Your promise protected me. Richard kept his word. And because of you, thousands of families will never have to go through what we did. I'll see you again someday. Until then, I'll keep spreading kindness.